So even though a lot of Pilates is done on a mat lying down and being closer to the floor, today we're going to explore being standing upright and see how that challenges your movements that you already know pretty well. We're also going to be making use of a tool. This is a dowel, so just a wooden stick, and my length here is 1.2 meters. You could use the same length or maybe a little bit more, 1.5, but don't make it too long because it'll get in your way for some of the exercises. So what we're going to start with is just your feet coming in a little narrow. So you want to imagine that you had about a fist's gap between the ankle bones, and that's going to be roughly in line with where your hip joints are. Have your hands just wider than the outsides of your legs. And then we're going to send the arms all the way up towards the ceiling for a nice big stretch, length long, and then bringing the arms back down. Now, as I do this movement, I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see it from the side perspective. Is hopefully you'll feel fingertips in line with shoulders, shoulders in line with ribs, ribs in line with hips, hips in line with feet, and then back down. What we don't want to see is that ribs are forward, pelvis is backward, and arms are behind the ears. So you're really looking for where am I the most organized in the body, and that way we know that you will be very organized through your joints in your shoulders and your pelvis. So we'll go for one more time, just a nice opening through the sides of the body. I love this movement. And then bringing yourself all the way back. You're going to take the dowel behind the back of your body and hook it into your elbows. So your palms are going to be facing up towards the ceiling as though you had a tray on your arms. And we're going to start to open the two arms away from each other and bringing them back. So the palms face away, opening into a little rotation in the top of the shoulder joint. So we're turning out as the arms are going away, and we're turning in as the arms are coming in. So this is a very common movement we would do with a rotator cuff strengthening exercise. So just a gentle opening. This is not an intense move right now. One more time as they go out and away. You're going to go into a slight bend of your knee, so just a slight little unlock, and then you're going to rotate in your upper body and back to center and rotate to the opposite way. So it's your aim to keep the two knees facing forward. So you're not starting to shift in your hips. We can all go spinning around, but can we actually do it from the right places, which is right now happening in our upper body. One more time to each side, and then we will bring ourselves all the way back. From here, you release that, and you're going to bring the dowel now to the back of your shoulder area. So it's on the top ridge of your shoulders, and then you're going to have your hands facing forward. Now this is quite intense. It's slightly different from the move we did a little moment ago. And from here, we're going to bring one elbow up and down. Now your range might be very different to mine. And again, lift and lower to the other side and alternating over. So we're getting a spinning in at the top portion of your shoulder. And then one more time to each direction. So if you are tight in the shoulders, just holding your arms up here might be enough. If you can, you're going to hook your arms over the top like so and have a very relaxed arm position. And then from there, we're going to drop down into the knees again, and we're going to do another spin. So can you rotate? Now you'll feel a lot freer in the rotation of your rib cage, but you're going to get a nice stretch coming through the pec and into the underarm area. One more time to each side like so. And then we'll come back into your center and releasing from there. So with this one, we're going to set the dowel up behind the back of your body. So we want to have the head in contact, the shoulder area between the ribs and the pelvis. So 3 points of contact that needs to be maintained throughout the movement. And I'm starting with a narrow position of my feet, so back in line with my hip joints. And I'm just going to go into a bend, so into a squat position and then coming back up. So a couple of things that go wrong with the squat is that when you drop down, your eyes stay forward. So you'll see then that your head has lost contact and your upper ribs have lost contact. The opposite thing is that the bottom goes back and away, creating too much of a bend in your lower back. So keeping this dowel in position, making sure all 3 contact points are the same, the head is going to have to drop down with you as you do your sit and hinge position through the legs. From here, we're going to switch our hand position, which for some reason is a lot more difficult than you think, because we all have a preferred way of holding something. So one palm facing in, one palm facing out. Make sure those 3 contact points are still balanced as you go into the sit and into the stand. So I'm going to stay in the sideways position for you just to get the visual, because we're about to progress our exercise. And as we do, you want to keep this idea that the dowel is still on your back. So good form is the key to a good session. So releasing that, and we're going to bring your arms, holding onto the dowel back above your head. So remember, we began here in the start. So again, let those shoulders be rested down so they're not creeping up to the ears. They're nice and broad across the back of your body. You're going to sit into that squat position you just went, lengthening the arms forward and standing back up tall. Now, truth be told, I'd like the arms to stay exactly where they are in space as you drop and as you stand. If you notice in your own body that your arms are wanting to drop down, that's okay. That's sometimes a little bit of a strength component where maybe you're not strong enough right now to keep that line, and it's fine to drop the arms, but then keeping them high as you come to the top again. Last one, and we're going to stay lifted. I'm going to turn towards you. You're going to open your feet wider than your hips, and from here we're going to go into a side bend. So lowering yourself down and coming up. In the ideal world, we would keep the ears and the arms balanced, which means as I go down, I don't drop the top arm to the ear, and I don't drop the bottom ear to the arm. So keeping that space nice and balanced between the two sides. And even though this pole weighs very little, it's quite a lot to keep your arms up in space. One more time to each side, and as you're doing that, try not to shift your hips with you. So your hips and your feet are staying facing the front, and we're just doing that lovely side bend stretch over. All right, here comes a challenge. So we're going to set the dowel up next to the side of you. And what you're going to do is you're going to hook your leg around the pole, and then your foot holds it on the inside. From here, you might have your foot a little lower down. And what we're going to start with is an internal rotation. So you can go from this angle and start to turn your leg bone in and then return it to the start. Now, you may need something to hold on to for balance, and if that's you, then grab something close by. The next option is still the same movement, but can you move your leg a little further back so your two thighs are more level with each other? So that as you do the spin, you've got a little bit more rotation happening. If you get a foot cramp, that's normal because you're holding this in a different position. And then one more time, we're so used to rolling that leg out that the internal can sometimes feel a little different. Let's bring the foot back forward again, and we're going to do the outside. So I want you to hold onto that pole. Don't let the pole tip you out to the side. So you're going to be pushing in with a little bit of resistance into the pole and then away, kind of like a swing door backward and forward. Let's move that leg a little bit behind you, and you're going to do the same rotation. Now you may be thinking it's this leg that's getting all the benefit, but trust me, the one you're standing on is doing heaps of things to support you. All right, and then last one, and then taking a moment. So you'll probably want to have a little break. We'll do the other side. So it goes onto the outside, you hook your leg around and then tuck your toe forward. So it could be your entire foot. It could just be the gap between your big and second toe, which is quite nice to do a bit of toe spreading. So up to you where you want to be. And then from there, we're going to rotate the leg in and open it out. So as you're doing this, again, nice steady position on the standing leg. This is the emphasis leg. And two more on this side. And then we're going to be taking that thigh bone and moving it just hopefully a little bit more in line with your other thigh. And then again, your rotation. So you'll get more freedom of movement in this position because your leg is actually going to be in a better position for the hip to do the spiraling. And then last one there. And then let's bring that foot forward again. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to move it from my toe to my foot. You're going to spiral your knee open and bringing it closed. So again, I'm not letting the dowel move with me. I'm keeping the dowel as a wall or a barrier for my leg to be able to spin around. And I'm losing count. So from here, we're going to send that knee back again in line with the other thigh, and then rotating the leg out and in. With this one, the dowel move. So it's almost like you're trying to get your foot closer to the back of the leg. Two, and then last one, and then bringing it in. Now it's the same move. I'm going to show it to you sideways. Go back to your first leg. The dowel is on the outside, hook the leg. And then from here, we're going to bring that leg again into more balanced with the other leg. More balance coming your way. So you've got the dowel to hold up against the thigh, and as you go into your hinge forward, you've got your leg going back behind you and coming to the front. Now this is not very different from your squat you did earlier, except we're not bending the standing leg. So we're moving the pelvis over the top of the standing leg and coming back. Now, if that's enough for you, stay with that version. If you want to get a little bit more entertained, then you're going to go with the opposite arm out in front. Try teaching and talking at the same time. It is wild. We've got 2 more to go like that. Keep the idea of your eyes coming down toward the floor, but not letting your head drop. And you are going to feel things that are sensational in your standing leg and in your standing foot. So your standing foot has got a lot of work to do to stabilize you. That should be 5. All right, let's do the opposite way. So second side, again, the dowel is on the outside. I know I sound repetitive, but trust me, when you haven't done this before, you'll be like, how do I do this? So we've got our leg coming in line with the hip. It's kind of like a witch's broom, I think. So holding the leg in, and then start with your hand on your hip. Let's just hinge over the top leg first, or over the standing leg, and coming back. So maybe in your mind, you're thinking, I'm going super flat, or maybe you're thinking, I can only go a centimeter or 2. And that's okay. You have to do you. And if you're ready, you can add the extended arm in front. And remember, with these moves, everybody's different. Everybody's range of movement is different. Everybody's strength is different. And if you can see my foot, maybe your foot is doing the same. It's slightly awkwardly rotated in. That's great. That's getting your foot moving in a way it hasn't moved probably in a while. So, all of these things, no one said it had to be in a perfect line to be the ideal movement. We want to be adaptive in all the things that we are doing. All right, so from here, we're going to take our dowel again back down towards our thighs. Let's go with our feet wide, sending the arms up and above. Hold your shape high, and we're going to twist to the left. So rotating yourself around in a tall shape up and center, and then to the other side. So if you've been following along, this is the 3rd time we've done twisting. Now with this one, I'd like you to allow your hip to rotate and go as far around as possible. And as you do that, you will notice that your outside leg, or the leg you're going toward, is moving, or your foot is rolling outward, and your other foot is rolling inward a little bit. And that is the power of how we move. Nothing is static. There's always a changing action happening. I'm not collapsing my foot, but my foot is naturally rolling in and naturally rolling out. And then returning yourself all the way back and down. We're going to take the dowel behind the back of the body. So hands are holding on just below your bottom, or wherever your arm length gets you to. And then from here, again, I'll go sideways. What you're going to do is a feeling of your shoulders peeling back and away. And then we're going to send the arms away from you. And as that happens, the front of the chest bone is going to lift up high, and then bringing yourself back. So when we do this again, we're not locking knees out, and we're not arching in the low back. We are feeling the collarbones peeling open and the arms reaching away. So I always think of a lengthening cue rather than a lifting cue. So yes, my arms are beginning to leave my body and start to make their way up, but I'm not letting them come forward. Not yet. We're about to do that. So one more time as we wrap those collarbones around, and then open the arms behind you. So as I mentioned, you can continue to do that. It is fabulous. We're going to do 3 more, and we're going to go forward folding. So if going down and facing down is not for you, stay with that last one. So from here, we start the same way. Collarbones are going to wrap. We send the arms up. Now you're going to bend into your knees, lowering your head towards the floor and reaching the arms up and over behind you, and then bringing yourself all the way up into standing tall. And then again, sending the arms back, hinge into the hips, fold over the front, and stretch the arms back. By the time we are here at this last movement of our class, you are so well prepared in all of your joints for doing all the things that we're doing now for our finale. And then nice big stretch over the top, and then standing all the way upright. All right, that was a fun standing workout with the dowel. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, if you did, make sure you send me a comment below. Tell me what it was that you liked the most. Like, comment, subscribe, share, do all of those wonderful things, and I will look forward to seeing you again in another one soon. Bye.